Our next section in 6.2 talks about solving systems of equations in 3 variables. So what we're going to see then is often x, y, and z. We're going to need 3 equations to solve since we have 3 variables, and so our solution is going to have 3 parts to it. In this case, they stand for the values of x, y, and z. So we can no longer call it an ordered pair because there's more than just 2 parts to our solution. And so we're going to start to see solutions that we're going to call ordered triples. Some new vocabulary. The method that we're going to use to go through and look at some of these systems in 3 variables and come up with a solution that's an ordered triple is called the Gaussian elimination method. So we're going to try to transform our system into this form. So notice that one equation has 3 variables, one with 2, and an equation with just 1 variable. And then we'll be able to solve this equation here that only has 1 variable, and then back substitute. So take what z is equal to, substitute here, find y, back substitute again what z and y are equal to, and solve for x. And so that's the method that we're going to work with here as we attempt to solve some systems in 3 variables. Okay, so as we walk through the process, our first step is going to be to eliminate x from 2 of our equations. And then our next step will be to eliminate y. So we're going to start by trying to eliminate x from 2 of our equations. So that means that I'm going to create some pairs. So I'm going to start by pairing up these first 2 equations and think about how I could work to eliminate the x by combining those 2 together. So since this is 4x, I would need this equation to have negative 4x in order to be able to combine those first 2 and eliminate my x's. And so that's what I'm going to do. So here's my original equation number 1. So I'm going to take negative 4 times that equation number 1. Sorry, I'm a little bit off my screen. There we go. And that's going to give me this new equation. I'm going to keep this second equation. We'll call this equation 2. I'm going to keep this exactly the same. So you can see where I'm getting my pieces from. So this was negative 4 times the first equation. I'll put that in there. And then the second equation is exactly the same. So I'm set up now that when I combine these 2, it should eliminate the x's and leave me with 10y's minus 15z's is equal to negative 40. So I now have an equation that has just 2 variables in it. But I'm actually going to eliminate x from 2 equations. Right now I've eliminated it from 1 equation. So I think this time I'm going to pair equations 1 and 3. And the reason I'm going to do that is my goal is still to eliminate x's. Since this has a single x, it's very easy to multiply this to make these 2 coefficients the same value but opposite signs. So what I'm going to do then is take this first equation and multiply it this time by negative 3. So we'll take negative 3 times that first equation, and that'll give us this. And then I'm going to keep my third equation here exactly the same. So you can see where I'm getting my pieces from. Now I'm set up that if I combine those 2 equations, it will eliminate my x's and leave me with 9y minus 10z equals negative 29. So I've achieved step 1. So I'm going to go ahead and number these 2 new equations that I've created where I've eliminated x's as equation 4 and equation 5. And so then notice, if my goal is to transform my system to look like this, if I keep equation 1 exactly the same, and instead of equations 2 and 3, I replace with these new equations that I'm calling 4 and 5, I'm closer to this form. My next step then needs to be to get an equation with just a single variable. So we're going to move on then to step 2, which is eliminating the y variable. So to eliminate the y using equations 4 and 5, my goal needs to be the same coefficient here but with opposite signs. So I'm going to try to get this to 90y and negative 90y. So if I take equation 4 and I multiply it times 9, so take 9 times equation number 4, that would give me this new equation. And then I'll take equation 5 times negative 10. So negative 10 times equation number 5 gives me this. Now I'm ready to combine them, and that will eliminate the y's and leaving the equation now with only z's. So I end up with negative 35z is equal to negative 70. So my new equation now that has only the variable z in it, I'm labeling equation 6. And so if I replace that then in my original system, I now have it in that form that we were looking for. So I'm ready to solve that equation and then back substitute to find my ordered triple. So equation number 6 had only one variable in it, so if we go ahead and solve here, we find that z has a value of 2, and now we're going to back substitute. So I'm going to substitute then into equation number 4, which was 10y minus 15z, and I now know that z is 2, is equal to negative 40. And so if I solve this equation, add 30 gives me negative 10. So if 10y equals negative 10, then y must be negative 1. And I'm going to continue to back substitute to find the value of my last variable. So I'm coming back to the very first equation, which was x minus 2y. We now know y is negative 1, plus 3z. We know z is 2, has to equal 11. So if I simplify, this would be x plus 8 is 11. So x then must have a value of 3. And so we found our solution. If we write it in an ordered triple, we're going to put these in order. So x is 3, y is negative 1, and z is 2. Just like when we solve systems in 2 variables, we can check this by plugging in our x, y, and z value to all 3 of our original equations to make sure that that is in fact a solution that satisfies all 3 equations in the original system. So let's see if we can solve another system in 3 variables. So there are an infinite number of ways to set this up and solve, but our first goal is to create 2 equations where we've eliminated the x in both cases. So I think, so that we can kind of work through this in the same manner, I'm going to attempt to pair 1 and 2 together. So I'm going to take equation 1 and equation 2 and find a way to combine those and eliminate my x variable. And then I'm going to combine 2 and 3. So I could also have combined 1 and 3, combined 1 and 3. But since 2 and 8, I could pretty easily get those to be opposites, then I think that's the other combination that I'm going to work with. So I'm going to pair 2 and 3 and think about how to multiply, if necessary, and combine them to eliminate x in both cases. So pause and then join me when you've got 2 equations that both have the x variable eliminated. How did we do? So we've created 2 new equations, I'm calling them 4 and 5, that both have just y and z variables. So we've taken care of step 1. Step 2 then, we want to eliminate y from these equations. So pair equations 4 and 5, see if you can eliminate your y's. Pause and then join me. So I've got something a little bit different going on this time. When I combine my 2 equations to eliminate y, I also eliminate my z variable. So I'm left with the equation 0 equals 6, which is not true. It's never true, which tells me this system has no solution. If we go back to some of the vocabulary from lesson 6.1, we said that any time our system had no solution, we could also refer to it as inconsistent. So just like with equations in 2 variables, systems with equations that include 3 variables can still have no solution. Let's look at a couple of other examples. So let's try this system in 3 variables. And again, so that as we work through this together, we're approaching it in the same way so we can check for mistakes. Here's how I'm going to work to eliminate the x variable in 2 equations. I'm going to pair 1 and 2, and then I'm going to pair 2 and 3. So if you want to work through that in the same way with me, see if you can come up with 2 equations here where you've eliminated your x variable, and then go on to the next step. Can you take those 2 equations then and combine them to eliminate your y variable? So see if you can go through those first 2 steps, pause, and then join me. So I was able to eliminate x from these 2 equations, which created these new equations, which I'm calling 4 and 5. And then I combine equations 4 and 5 to eliminate my y variables. And in the process, again, it eliminated my z variables also, except this time I was left with a true statement. 0 equals 0. That is always true. And so what this is telling me is that this system has infinitely many solutions. So in addition to stating that this system has infinitely many solutions, we're going to describe how the x, y, and z values are always related in any of the ordered triples that satisfy all three of these equations. So this is how it's going to work. So we're first going to take either equation 4 or 5 and solve it for the variable y. And I'm looking, I think 5 is going to be a lot simpler equation to solve for y. So we're going to take the equation y minus z equals -3, and when we solve it for y, that z variable is still going to be there. So add z minus 3, so there y is equal to z minus 3. And then I'm going to substitute that into equation number 1 to solve it for x. So equation number 1 was x minus 3 times y. Well, we know y is the same as z minus 3. Minus z is equal to 9. We're solving this for x. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify here. Combine my like terms. So x minus 4z plus 9 equals 9. And then I want to solve this for x, so we'll add 4z to the other side. We'll subtract 9 from both sides, and that leaves us with x is the same thing as 4z. So what we're going to do is describe these infinitely many solutions in terms of the variable z. So in this case, my ordered triple looks like this. So x is the same thing as 4 times z, y is the same thing as z minus 3, and then I have my z variable. So whatever value I choose for z, I could find what y and x would be also in any solution that will satisfy all three of the equations in my system. So the last example we're going to look at is actually a system in 4 variables. So we could use the same process for even more variables. It just requires one more equation in our system for each new variable that we add. So we could use the same elimination method to work toward a solution. So we would first be trying to eliminate w from several equations. So I think I'll start by trying to eliminate w by combining 1 and 3, since that would be a pretty easy pair to combine to eliminate my w's. So that leaves me no w's, that leaves me 2 x's. That leaves me no y's, that also leaves me no z's. So I end up with 2x is equal to -4. So sometimes in our process of solving, we end up eliminating several variables at a time, and it actually makes our job a little bit easier. So I'm already able to say I know at this point that x is -2. So I found 1/4 of my solution. So if I continue to work pairing up equations, attempting to eliminate more and more variables, I could pair 1 and 4. That would allow me again to eliminate my w's and leave me with 4x plus 2y. It eliminates my z's and leaves me with 0 here as a constant. Well, at this point, if I know x is -2, and I have an equation now that has only x and y in it, I could go ahead and solve this then and find my y value. So I know that 4 times -2, since x needs to be -2, plus 2y needs to be 0. So then -8 plus 2y is 0. So if I finish solving, I find that in my solution, y must have a value of 4. And I'm going to keep working from there. So again, I think pairing equations 2 and 3 would be another way to eliminate variable w. So combining equations 2 and 3 in the hopes of eliminating the w left me with an equation that included the variables x, y, and z. Since I already know the values of y and x, I'm able to, y and x, I substitute. Now I know z. Go back to the original equation, plug in the 3 variables I know, find the 4th value, And that gives me my final ordered quadruple solution, w, x, y.